This is a mock interview conducted by ForumIAS Academy at New Delhi. The interview panel includes eminent academicians, retired bureaucrats, and other luminaries. The objective of the program is to acquaint the candidate with the format and expectations of the personality test conducted by UPSC.
May I come in, sir?
Please come. Mohana. Viku, you are from IIT Kanpur,
Yes, sir.
which is one of the most prestigious institutions, civil engineering.
Yes, sir.
So why did you take civil engineering for your option and why did you take political science?
Sir, with respect to the comfortability, I was more comfortable in political science and international relations. And also international relations and political science, it also had a connection with the GS2 portion of my syllabus in general studies. So I opted for political science and international relations, sir.
So you passed out in 2017.
Yes, sir.
What are you doing thereafter?
Sir, I have been preparing for UPSC, Civil Service Examination, since then.
So why do you want to become a civil servant after doing your BTech from IIT Kanpur?
Sir, the thing with respect to IAS in particular, which inspires me is the role model which I have had in my life. I have been influenced by Armstrong Pame.
By?
Is by Armstrong Pame. He's a 2008 batch of IAS officer, and he is of Manipur cadre. And the work that an IAS can do
But
to impact
IAS
lives.
are nothing but glorified clerks. Don't you think so?
Pardon, sir?
IAS is nothing but a glorified clerk.
Sir, with respect to the profile, the job that IAS handles, it has the works with respect to IAS, it handles all the major issues of the nation. We can see even in the times of pandemic, the IAS played a major role, the DMs and also the secretary at the level of health ministry. So
But today everybody is criticizing IAS, everybody, right? Including the Prime Minister. Prime Minister says that they can't handle things.
Sir, in my opinion, IAS is a steel frame of India as highlighted by
Yes, it used to be a steel frame, but it is rusted now, people say. It is no more useful for the Indian society.
Sir, in my opinion, IAS at the moment is also getting specialized, and the role as an IAS officer needs also to be reformed, and it also needs
So
to
when
be...
you say specialized, do you think specialization is required for an IAS officer?
Yes, sir. With the passage of time,
It's better to take an engineer or a doctor or an expert rather than taking a generalized person like an IAS officer.
Sir, with respect to an IAS officer, he has an experience of the district level, the grassroots level, and in terms of the diverse opportunity which IAS has been exposed to in the initial level of the service. So with time, with the passage of time, as it evolves into the specialization, it will be of much use than someone who has worked in just one domain.
I went to district, I went to subdivision, I didn't pick up anything called specialization. So I was not a specialist, so I was maybe a misfit in the service or what?
No, sir, you are not misfit. I believe you also you have also contributed in diverse manner, and it is also useful for the nation.
What is the role of an IAS officer? Tell me. What does he do or what does she do?
Yes, sir. Sir, at the entrance level, it is usually posted in the district level, and it handles the day-to-day law and order issues and other administrative issues in the district.
So if you put some engineer or a doctor over there as collector, how will he or she be different?
Sir, doctor and engineer as a training by profession, the way me as an engineer, the way we have been trained, the principles with respect to the engineering, the rationality or maybe the logicality which could be brought out while administering. At the same time, the skills which were learned during the professional course in some way or the other is useful for handling issues in the district, sir.
Right, I'm not too sure because everybody today is against IAS. And general discussion is that they have let down this country. Do you agree with that statement?
General issues, sir.
General impression is that IAS has let down this country.
Sir, I would beg to disagree with
All
that.
right. So what has been the contribution of IAS in last 75 years?
Sir, we have many IAS who has performed in various levels, and in the form of, I belong to the state of Nagaland, and we have the form of communitization of services in Nagaland. That is one such service, and the Village Development Board, which is still in continuation, and it has also won a lot of award with respect to the grassroots level administration. That is the innovation of an IAS officer. And also we have in different levels IAS officer playing.
All right, I'm intervening. Suppose in your state, Nagaland,
Yes, sir.
instead of IAS officers, you have your own state civil services. So be happy with that. So where is the need for an IAS officer in Nagaland?
We, as an overall IAS being an all India service, it also brings overall dimension of the service with respect to the administration. And it also helps in order to bring about cooperative federalism in the state, and also stay in contact with the central government and be useful. And for also with respect to the state services, they are also being useful. The state civil servants are also being useful in the state as well in their own domain, contributing to the local administration as well, sir.
All right. So thank you very much, Viku. My intention with you is over. I'll request my colleague to take over.
Yes.
You have done civil engineering.
Yes, sir.
Can you define stress and strain for me?
Sir, I'm not able to recall that. I do not know.
You also secured second prize in truss bridge design competition.
Yes,
What is
sir.
truss?
Sir, truss is an engineering equipment whereby different form of designs could be used. It is in the form of steel frame, and different kind of structures could be built as a base with the help of truss.
And do you think there has been a proliferation of IITs in India and a dilution of brand IIT?
Sir, with respect to IITs, I would not say that it is a proliferation. Rather, I believe that it will bring more inclusivity with respect to the higher education, top level education, to the students aspiring for higher education in technical education. And I believe the new IITs which has also come up, they are also contributing a lot in terms of in their own domain. So they are also bringing more prestige to the brand IIT. Just for instance, IIT Hyderabad also has specialization in artificial intelligence that is quite famous in all over India as well as abroad, sir.
What is the difference between artificial intelligence and machine learning?
The technicality of it, I am unaware, sir.
Okay, no problem. You have stayed in Kanpur, Uttar Pradesh for 4 years, right?
Yes, sir.
But when I see your zonal preferences, your preference for zone 2, which is the one belonging to Uttar Pradesh, is preference 5.
Yes.
So why so?
I would prefer to work anywhere in the country. However, this is just my preference that the Kanpur came considering other factors also. UP was the 5th one, or else if given the opportunity, I would work in any part of India, sir.
A lot of IITians are nowadays starting a lot of startups.
Yes.
Do you think as a nation we are having a startup bubble in India?
Yes, sir. At the moment, being promoted by the government of India in terms of Startup India and various other entrepreneur schemes. So there is a bubbling of the startup culture in India in terms of the innovations, and also in different fields that startup is contributing in India, sir.
A few years ago, Shri Narayan Murthy said that in the last 50-60 years, we haven't, as a nation, we haven't produced a single invention that became a household name across the world. So while IITians are doing very well, do you think IITs are not doing that well?
Sir, with respect to innovations, although it may not be the household innovations which have been produced, I believe that IITs in their own level is doing a lot of things. Even in this present pandemic, we had IITs contributing to a lot of research in terms of the modelings which was produced in order to predict its waves. And also we had technologies which were produced via IITs in terms of mask, which is bacterial killing, and lots of innovations which has brought and which has impacted day-to-day life of the people of India, sir. So IITs is also contributing in that sense.
northeastern areas have a lot of hydroelectric potential. So, as a civil engineer, suppose you are sent to a population, how will you persuade them that a hydroelectric dam is safe?
Sir, first of all, large hydroelectric product or small hydroelectric products?
Large hydroelectric dam.
Sir, first of all, to persuade the people, I would also should be convinced in my own self that it is safe for the people, and that is my first priority that I will keep in my mind. And weighing upon that condition, if I am convinced that it will be beneficial for the society at large, so I would go to the people in which area the hydroelectric power is going to be set up, and would consult with the elders first, and also would like to know the culture of the people and the practices in and around that, such that the rehabilitation program which happens due to that a particular hydroelectric program will not have a negative impact in their day-to-day livelihood and the day-to-day cultural practices which they do. So I would convince them that it could also be done in the other area in which their rehabilitation is done. At the same time, I would also show the benefits of the hydroelectric power project which will be set up in terms of the employment opportunities which will be set up for the people, and also in terms of the power which would benefit the states and India in overall, and putting upon those arguments, I would try to persuade the people, sir.
As a civil servant, you may not always be in the decision-making position. And in fact, many of your senior officials and the public representatives may not be in agreement with you if you feel that one particular dam site is not safe. How will you handle that situation?
Sir, in that situation, sir, first of all, I would refer in the environment impact assessment which has been conducted, sir. I would also persuade them to conduct it in a quick and impartial manner, and also in such a way that it will bring about a report in which it is either benefiting the environment or harming it. And based upon it, sir, I would take a stand in which either I would take the responsibility of helping them, or in other sense, if that is not the case, I would suggest them to take up someone who will be more efficient in my place, and then do it, sir.
Okay. Recently, a very famous bridge came to popularity, being built by railways in Kashmir Valley,
Yes.
the Chenab Bridge. Can you tell us something about it?
Sir, Chenab Bridge, it is a cement and the steel. I am unable to recall it the moment.
Okay, no problem. Can you tell me some of the cultural differences you observed between Nagaland and Uttar Pradesh?
The cultural festivals which we celebrate, the kind of festival which we celebrate in Uttar Pradesh, we had Holi, which was celebrated. I used to go to my friends' places, and also in the sense of the Diwalis which were celebrated is a bit different from the festivals which are celebrated in Nagaland as such. Nagaland, we usually celebrate festivals which are related to agriculture in the sense of pre-harvest and post-harvest festivals. And so that is one of the differences.
Okay, my final question. There was a recent conflict between Assam and Mizoram.
Yes.
What was the conflict and what is its status today?
Sir, the conflict between Assam and Mizoram was with respect to disputed boundaries between Assam and Mizoram. And at the moment, negotiations are going on at the level of the government level, and also being intervened by the central government at the moment, sir.
Has there been any agreement with regards to that?
Sir, in that boundary, there has not been any agreement. However, with respect to Meghalaya, there has been settlement of 6 pockets, which has been currently settled.
Okay, thank you.
Hello, Viku. So you've taken PSIR as your optional. Any
Yes.
particular reason why after having a civil engineering degree? Civil is there is in optionals, right?
Yes. Sir, I was more comfortable with respect to political science and international relations, and also with respect to the commonality which PSIR had with the GS2. So I chose to opt for PSIR.
All right. Can you tell me what is utilitarianism?
Respect to utilitarianism, it sees its greatest good for the greatest number, which is given by Bentham, and it also takes up policies and measures based on the benefit to the masses at large. Sir.
Was JS Mill also a utilitarian?
Yes, sir.
How was it different from Bentham?
Sir, J.S. Mill was was a great admirer of Bentham. However, J.S. Mill brought differences to utilitarianism by bringing qualitative form, whereby pleasure is not only in terms of quantity, but however, pleasure is also in terms of the quality that we experience.
What was Mill's view on freedom of speech?
With respect to the freedom of speech, according to him, it should not be freedom of speech should be not be curtailed at any cost. However, he brought an harm principle until unless it harms an individual, until unless it harms some others, the state could not interfere into the freedom of speech.
Do you think that the people who support absolute freedom of speech are actually promoting hate crimes?
Sir, in that opinion, I also agree with that, sir. Not in the form that the people who are supporting absolute freedom of speech is promoting directly. However, when there is absolute freedom of speech without reasonable restrictions, there are situations and instances which arises in which people can come up with any statements which brings disharmony between different communities, causing communal riots, or even in the form of hate speeches which people may bring. So with respect to that, there could be a reasonable restriction which our constitution has also brought in Article 19.
Are you aware of Twitter being acquired by Elon Musk?
Yes, sir.
What is the issue going on?
Sir, in this past week, Elon Musk has offered to buy Twitter for certain shares, that is valuation in terms of $48 billion, which Elon Musk has offered, so as to, in his words, privatize it and make it a platform of freedom of speech and expression. However, in today's newspaper, the board has disallowed it and completely rejected.
Is it in their hand to completely reject it?
Sir, I do not know about that, sir.
Do you support Twitter being completely owned by a private individual?
Sir, I would not support that. However, Twitter should be. I would not support that, sir.
But why not? A lot of other companies, other social media platforms are owned by private individuals. Why not Twitter?
Sir, owning by a private entity, by a private individual, there's always a chance that.
But it is not illegal also. So if he is not doing something illegal, what is the problem with that proposition?
So there's always a possibility that some monopolization of truth and information
That can
could also
happen with any company.
Yes, sir. But however, with respect to the Twitter, it is very sensitive in the form that at the moment, politics can also be influenced by the speech which is being done at those platforms, sir. So,
If it is that sensitive, why not nationalize it?
so nationalizing it is also a difficult situation whereby a nation taking control over that particular platform may use it as a
What
weapon.
is your solution? What should be done with a platform like Twitter?
Sir, for a platform like Twitter, I would recommend and suggest that there is a transparency in its working mechanism, and being a platform at that pedestal should always be accountable to the public as such. The information which are being collected from the people should be kept in a high security, and also the way it is being utilized should also be made open to the people. So as to build trust and confidence in the public and the people.
Can you
at large.
apply your knowledge from political science into this scenario and come up with a solution?
Sir, using the knowledge of political science and international relations, I would suggest the nations to come together.
For Twitter?
Sir, in that scenario, if it is at high stake for the nations...
Is it really that high stake that nations should come together?
Sir, I believe it is at this platform of social media, it is world influencing media platform. So it is of high value, and I believe that it is also a common concern which may come up in the times to come. So nations can come together for this.
What do you understand by separation of power?
Separation of power, a concept given by Montesquieu and also Locke, whereby the three organs of the government, the legislature, the judiciary, and the executive remain separate so that they do not interfere in each other's work. And we also have it in our Indian constitution in the form of DPSP, Article 50, whereby separation of power could be brought into
Do we
respect.
have a strict separation of power in India?
Sir, in India, we do not have a strict separation of power. Rather, we have the executive, which is also from the legislature. And in that sense, we do not have a strict separation of power. However, with respect to the judiciary and also the legislature and other aspects, there has been brought about, sir.
Can you tell me why football is famous, so popular in Northeast, but not so much in the rest of India?
With respect to the popularity of football in Northeast, we have a community level football tournaments which are organized regularly by the...
Has it got some cultural relation also?
So there is no cultural as such relations, but however, it has been used as a mechanism to bring different tribes together, different communities together for for harmony, and also the sense of competition which arises.
So was it imposed or it was organic?
It was organic, sir. So there was a time when there used to be ethnic clashes. So football was used as a mechanism to bring harmony between different groups, and yes, that is.
Okay. Can you tell me what is a blockchain technology in very simple terms? Just like I just don't know anything about it. Try to explain it to me.
I will not be able to explain it at the moment, sir.
Okay. Can you define it?
Try to define it if you allow me. Sir, with respect to blockchain technology, it is a decentralized ledger format whereby the accounts, the transactions which are performed in terms of different applications of blockchain is in an open source, open platform, whereby people will be able to know each and every nodes of transaction which has happened, and is also used for cryptocurrency and other aspects.
Okay, all right. That's it from my end. I'll transfer to the next member.
Can you name some road projects which are under development in Nagaland?
Sir, currently the road between Dimapur and Kohima is under renovation, whereby it is being transformed from 2-lane to 4-lane, sir.
Okay, all right. Can you compare Dimapur city and Kohima?
Sir, with respect to the difference which Kohima and Dimapur has, the first difference is the location, whereby Dimapur is a plain area, whereas Kohima is a hill area. And other than that, we have the connectivity, whereby Dimapur is connected with airways and at the same time railways. Kohima is not connected. And also, the majority of the main offices, administrative offices, are located in Kohima, the administrative secretariat. In Dimapur, not much is there. And Dimapur is known as the commercial hub of Nagaland because of its location, at the same time the facilities which are available. In Kohima, due to its difficult terrain and hilly structure, it is not available. And at present, Kohima is the smart city which has been chosen by the government of Nagaland with respect to the larger smart city program, whereas Dimapur is not a smart city. And in terms of the population which is found in Kohima and Dimapur, Kohima, it is majorly of the tribe called Angami, which are the majority in that area, whereas in the case of Dimapur, we have the collectivity. I should say Dimapur is a kind of mini India, which we find people not only of Nagas, but also people from different parts of India, where people of different parts of India, different religion, different states and culture, which is found in Dimapur.
You have read from Sainik School, Imphal,
Yes, sir.
right? So you didn't opt for NDA or CDS?
Sir, I tried applying for NDA in my 12th after my 12th standard. However, I was unable to clear it, so I did not also opt for CDS.
And then why did you move to Visakhapatnam?
Sir, Visakhapatnam was, in Visakhapatnam, there was a facility of coaching in terms of JEs, which was provided. So I chose to opt for Visakhapatnam.
Did you also happen to visit different places in Visakhapatnam?
Sir, I visited Araku Valley, sir.
Araku Valley.
Yes.
Okay. Tell me something about Araku Valley, some speciality.
Sir, Araku is a special area in Eastern Ghats, which is also famous for its Araku coffee, which is also a GI tag, and also the economic model of Arakunomics, which has been recently awarded as the Rockefeller Foundation Award in terms of the economic model which they have adopted to promote the tribal economy in the higher international sphere.
Some tourist places in Visakhapatnam city is also there.
Yes, I have been, sir.
What is the role of civil society organizations in Nagaland?
Sir, civil society organization in Nagaland plays a major active role. We have different civil society organizations in the form of Naga Hoho, Naga Mothers Association, and also Naga Baptist Church Council, whereby at the present moment it's also trying to play a mediating role for the Naga peace talks which are happening. And also in terms of different law and order situations, whereby different cultural, customary laws, whereby the civil societies also play a major role in deciding different customary practices. And in particular, the Mothers Association is very powerful. We have the NLTP Act, that is Nagaland Prohibition Act in terms of the beverages, alcoholic beverages. Here, the Naga Mothers Association played a major role to bring about prohibition in Nagaland. So, civil society has a very big role to play in Nagaland society, sir.
Okay. Have you heard of a ministry, Development of Northeast Region?
Pardon, sir?
Development of Northeast Region, Ministry of Development of Northeast
Yes,
Region. Do you think it has played any positive role in the development of Northeast?
Certainly, there has been huge progress, huge role which has been played by this particular ministry. In the recent times,